Hi, I'm Josh Lai, and this is my library project. Most people today are not particularly well informed about the textiles they wear. You can tell either their jeans are twill woven, their t-shirts are jersey knitted, their socks are knitted on special sock knitting machines and stock knit stitch. You still know the origins of such techniques. Some years ago, I was watching a National Geographic special about mammoths. One of the archaeologists said that the people used to use all parts of the mammoths after slaughtering it, even the down. She said that they might have even knitted hats or socks with it. My mother laughed uproariously. "That's pure mammoth dung," she said. And when I asked what she meant, she explained that needle knitting, as it is called, was developed only about 1,000 years ago. Only mammoths, such as this one here, died out 25,000 years ago. See the difference? Well, anyway, all my life, my mother has knitted my socks. She spins, weaves, knits, crochets, and so on. She is an expert on textiles, and especially the historical methods of producing them. It is kind of a silly thing to remember, but it reminded me that not all experts are experts at the same thing. The mammoth expert was not a textile expert. In fact, her words carried more authority because of her education, her all-important PhD. However, in reality, she was no expert in socks or knitting. This made me question the source of information. Is something true because Wikipedia says it is? Although Wikipedia is very good, I admit. Or because a teacher or professor mentions it? This project is an homage to my mom, who has spent hundreds of hours knitting socks for her family, and the knowledge of her many years of study and training in historical textile arts. This tutorial will show an experienced knitter how to knit a sock, including materials and methods, and will reveal the adaptations that my mom has made over the years to her knitting of socks, which are truly and uniquely her own. But enough of my rambling. Meet my mother, Denise Lai.
Hi, I'm Denise Lai, and I'm Josh's mom. He asked me to teach you about sock knitting. Now, I've been knitting for 44 years. I'm 51 years old. I learned to knit when I was very, very young. And for most of my life, I made scarves and shawls and sweaters and little hoodies and things like that. Every time I went to go look at any instructions for knitting a sock, they just overwhelmed me. I felt like I could never learn it. It was so much shaping, it was so many instructions that I would never be able to figure it out. And about 15 years ago, I came across this book, Socks, 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 one of the original early versions that tried to simplify sock knitting using very, very visual techniques, and taught socks from the most basic to the most complex. It begins with a taxonomy of the parts of a sock. There's the cuff and the body, there's the heel, the gusset where you have to change the number of stitches, the foot, and the toe. And they show very elaborate drawings every time they show you a technique. Now, one of the things, and they show socks that are very, very simple all the way up to socks that are very, very complicated. I found this to be a revelation. It was very straightforward and simple, and it turned out that socks were much easier to knit than sweaters or even shawls. Now, there are a few knitting skills that you have to have in order to be able to knit socks. This is the Encyclopedia of Knitting. You can get a book like this. They'll tell you what these skills are and show them to you very, very quickly. There's casting on, and knitting and purling, and how to increase and how to slip a stitch, and so forth. This kind of book is very, very good at getting some of those basic skills down if you don't already have them. The other thing that's very important is a book of knitting patterns, where you have just a whole range and dictionary of patterns that you can use in these little blocks in order to make a beautiful patterned sock. This book is a very, very famous book, and it's so famous that they actually made 2 special sock knitting books out of it, where they've taken all the guesswork out and They do all the calculating, the number of stitches you'll need, when you have to do your heel turn, how you're going to turn the heel, all of that done for you, pattern by pattern, for all of these beautiful, beautiful socks. And so those two books can make you seem like you are the sock knitter extraordinaire. Sock knitting, as I said, is much easier than you think it is. And I look forward to teaching you what I know about sock knitting. Me and my little mammoth. We'll see you later.